The Monica Makes It Happen podcast is proudly supported by Ponce Bank.
And welcome back to the Monica Makes It Happen podcast. It's our financial wellness series powered by Ponce Bank. It's not every day you get a vice president of the bank right here in our studios. Today we're going to shine a light on a program that's really transforming how local nonprofits get the support that they need, but also the woman who is helping make it happen. We're joined by Wanda Matos. Wanda, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Monica, for the invite.
I can't even believe you're here. I'm grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule. You're the branch manager of Ponce Bank's new Inwood branch and the vice president, of course, leading the non-for-profit sector. Wanda, thank you again for the job that you're doing. You do like a dual role, which must be difficult to balance, but you do it so well. And we just saw you at the Inwood branch opening. That was very exciting.
Yeah, so we're very excited to be in the community, helping our neighbors. Ponce Bank is always put the priority in our nonprofit organizations, but also our small businesses. So as you said at the beginning, Wanda, how you can make it. So with 3 kids and, doing 2 roles at the same time, but I can tell you that has been a rewarding opportunity for me. And as we spoke about, Ponce Bank and the different things that you do, you're going to see how challenging it could be, but also how important it is. Well, so we're in the community.
Can I just say, every time I meet someone from Ponce Bank, I've had your CEO on the show, I've had some VPs on the show, but every time I meet someone, it's the same story, where it's from the heart. You're kind of leading from the heart, hoping to help everyone with their financial wellness and independence. And that gets my ear, because I want to know more about my money. How do I make my money grow? How do I create financial wealth and generational wealth for so many families? Talk to me about this grassroots program. How did it begin and what inspired it?
Well, the grassroots program has a beautiful story behind it. So as you know, Ponce Bank is very vested in the community, but in 2024, we noticed that a lot of the organizations that apply for foundation grants, they will have some challenges, providing the documentation that they need. Some of them, they don't have, the basic knowledge about financial statements, understanding how to portray better their mission in the package, and some of the applications were declined because they were incomplete. But in addition to that, we faced another 2 challenges that inspired this program. And one of the challenges was because of the government cuts, some of the organizations didn't have the luxury, let's say, to have a consultant, somebody who guide them through the process. So and then that technical assistance and that support fell to the cracks. So as a result, we got an influx of nonprofit organizations asking for technical assistance and support. I was only one. So we said, we need to do something in order to continue supporting the community and those organizations. And then we came out with this beautiful grassroots program to provide technical assistance to nonprofits, and definitely has been one of the best decisions that we made in the community.
Well, you're making such an impact by doing that. I hate red tape. I fight red tape every day on TV and social media, and here you are, you're doing the same thing, but in a much bigger way. When you first realized that these nonprofits needed this kind of safe place to share their strife and their problems, you immediately sprung into action at Ponce Bank, right?
Yes, immediately I started meeting with some of the organizations in the community that have cohorts of nonprofits to understand the main challenges that they also were facing. And then we started a group together and says, we need collaborators. We need people who can work with us to help us to bring this program alive and collaborate. And then we started identifying those topics, what is important for those nonprofit organizations, what are the different resources that they need. And that's when we stopped to the plate and put the program in place.
And those partnerships are incredible. I mean, you have such a laundry list of partnerships. Tell me about all these partners. I mean, every nonprofit turns to Ponce. It's like the New York Women's Foundation, Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. I mean, these are all Showing Hearts Foundation. How did you get such a roster? I mean, I'm obsessed with nonprofits and working with nonprofits. How did you get such a roster of nonprofits turning to you? I guess you must be really effective.
Yes. Well, I'm rolling in all boroughs, so my role is also include not only supporting the organizations that are where I house, that is in the Westchester Avenue, headquarters, but I also work with all boroughs. So every time that I have interactions with our partners in the different boroughs and identify what is the main challenges that they're facing. And most of these organizations face the same situation. Organizations coming to them to ask for support, but it's not so much that they can do alone. So they also need allies and partners in the community. And that's what Ponce said. We also have a cohort of nonprofits that need help, how we can get it together and continue supporting the community. And that's how we start, crafting, this program and asking those organizations to also give us a hand by promoting the program in social media, blasting the members, but identifying anybody who knocked the doors that need help immediately, just refer them to me. So we have Wanda for a one-on-one consultation.
We have wonderful Wanda. I like that. I always, but you are available 24/7 to help nonprofits kind of figure it out. And I think that is the biggest problem. I've seen so many, I've worked with a lot of nonprofits who are struggling with their funding right now and getting funding. So if you can be that magic sauce that helps them get the funding that they need, and even if it's just a little recalibration, right? Sometimes it's just that little piece of knowledge they didn't know. Like, do you have like an example of that, or like one organization that you can think of that really was transformed?
Not necessarily an example, but I'm going to tell you what has been the path of some of the organizations that joined the program, because this is ongoing. So as of now, we have supported around 200 nonprofit organizations.
200?
And just to make this story short about how that works, we have organizations that never touch on strategic planning, never has a reserve account, for the organization. Organizations that they don't understand how to build a board with intention. Some organizations, from doing nothing on that area, start having conversations at the board level and say, hey, we need to have a strategic plan, how we can go to the bank and ask for funding one other donor if we don't know where's the future of the organization. So, and this is a path that we're still going through with a lot of those organizations, because the program started in 2024. We're still rolling with a full curriculum for 2020-25. And then we're trying to understand what is the actual need so we can target those needs with the organization and help them through the path. I think there's going to be success stories as they still put in place most of those practices and recommendations that we're making to them.
We want to tell those success stories. You know that. We love those success stories. And sometimes you have to tell about the struggle first before we get to that success.
The success.
And I think we're not afraid to talk about that as well, which I love, and talk about money. So when we come back after this commercial break, first of all, how do we reach you? What's the easiest way? Is it poncebank.com?
Yes, you can reach at poncebank.com. We have a section for nonprofit partnerships and also the grassroots program, so that any member for the community organization can click and they can find all the information that they need to get in contact with me.
And it really is truly grassroots. I love the name of that. So when we come back, we're going to talk more with Wanda Matos and more about what she's doing to empower our community. That's after the break. We're back with Wanda Matos, Vice President, Ponce Bank. Well, you have so many titles here, also nonprofits, helping save so many nonprofits across our city. I mean, tell me, what drives you every day to do this? I mean, it must be, you said you think it's your mission. It's your mission in life to do this.
I think that is my mission in life, but at the same time, as being in the banking industry for more than 25 years, I learned at early age when I started doing banking that doing good, it brings everything back. So when we support the community, we support the members, and we help them to prosper, that's what brings prosperity to the bank and make the bank to grow. So, and I identify a way how I can humanize my role. Being a banker, making sure that the bank is profitable, but at the same time supporting the community and making sure that they receive a trusted financial advisor, from me, and they can identify the things that they need. So I'm finding the right balance between humanizing my position and my role and helping the community at the same time being profitable for the bank and help the bank to grow, because we need to help the bank to grow.
Well, $3 billion in assets, you're doing pretty good. Yes. And I think you're growing every year that I've known Ponce Bank, because I've known you guys for decades now, even though I look so young, I know. So I've known them for a very long time. But I've seen you grow, and the reason, like you said, the heart of it is doing good for the community, and that's good business. I love to hear that, and I think most people like to hear that as well. You have sessions where people can actually have a session with you. What do you call that? I mean, it's kind of like almost like a boot camp session, even though you have a small business boot camp too. When they're struggling with those budgets, what's the number one thing that you can do almost immediately for them?
The first thing that we identify and working with nonprofit organizations that they need a little guidance. So I call my office hours the GPS of the bank for nonprofit organizations.
I love that.
So what the office hours does is that I met with organizations every month via Zoom. Anybody who wants to know about Ponce, understand how we help. So, and I explain to them all the different resources that we offer. But I just not only explain the resources, I tell them how to access those resources effectively, because sometimes they know that we have a foundation, but how do you know which documentation they need to provide, how to submit the paperwork? So we're giving those extra tips to the organization, so when they listen everything that we offer, it's easier for them to come back and say, you know, Wanda, after the 5, 6, 7 things that Ponce does to support the community, so I just want to do a partnership on 2 and 3. So it's like a really good shortcut for nonprofit organizations where they can find resources and support.
And it's called, you call it the GPS, but it's a session. So if someone wanted to do it, what do they do? What do they ask for?
Yeah, they just need to let me know that they need a one-on-one section after the office hours, and I also meet personalized with them, one-on-one. They can go in person to my office or at the branch. So it's not only about providing the information, but making myself available to support the organizations down the road. Who has been one of the major complaints sometimes for organizations? They receive broader information in advance.
Yeah, and then you don't know how to apply it to your own life. That's so true. That little one-on-one is so critical. Yeah. And can I mention too, Wanda, what's wonderful is you're bilingual. These are bilingual services. Very hard to come by in banking, but you do that, right?
Yes, I do. I speak English and Spanish, and I speak Dominican, so it's my third language.
I love that. That's your story. You're from the Dominican Republic, and you were a teller, which I love. You know, I always love stories, so I have to bring this up. A teller, then you worked your way up, and I've seen this, almost the same template, working your way up to the very, very top. And somehow that does help you. How does that help you? The knowledge of the teller to the vice president.
It just helped me to put myself in the position of the customer all the time. So I started as a bank teller, 25 years ago, also working another community bank in the community in Washington Heights. When somebody comes to me that is a customer at any level, I can understand how they feel because I've been in that role. So and it's important for me to have those connections because and then the customer feels supported. They feel that the person empathizes with the situation. Most important, they find a safe place in the language that they can talk to.
You know, it's so true because I think so many times when I tell people stories, they know that I've also been there, so I know some of this housing and security stuff too. And you get the credibility, that street cred right away, and you have that at the Inwood branch. I mean, everyone, your whole team, I met your entire team and they were so fabulous, and that story is on pix11.com/Monica if you want to check it out. But tell us about the upcoming Financial Mastery webinar. What is this about? I mean, it sounds fabulous. Financial Mastery webinar.
Well, the Financial Mastery is just a broader, umbrella for all our programs. So we have different programs under that umbrella. So under that umbrella, we have the nonprofit services, that is a grassroots program. So right now that we're doing, specifically for that Inwood branch, is that we're going to be exploring additional support for small businesses in the language there, the entrepreneurs. But also under the nonprofit side, at the grassroots program, we have 2 very important sections that's going to come to the end of the year. One of them is about impact, and the other one is about succession planning. I think that as organizations have been facing a lot of cuts, they have been in the position to identify additional ways that they can split the ways that they can find funding. So, and they need to diversify.
Did you say find funding? You just you can help people find funding for their organizations.
Yes. So we provide a lot of resources to the organizations, maybe another foundations that they are providing grants, and I connect them to resources. And something very important. So now everybody wants to diversify. They don't want to rely on the government, for funding. So the impact section is going to be a lot about how you put that together so you can portray your work so donors can come to you and funds with you. But also facing end of the year.
I need to take this class. This is a great class. I love that. And everyone can learn something from this, right? No matter, and that's what I love too. There's a no judgment about Ponce. You can start at any time, any age, because we do like the young, but also sometimes you want to reset your financial life. This is a great way to do it, right?
Yes, and they can access virtually to the class. They don't need to go in person, so all the classes are facilitated via Zoom. We have the full curriculum online, so they can sign up, and if they can sign up for this class, they can sign up for the other. But I also take a lot of recommendations for the organizations every year about topics that could be important, so they can go to the branch. If they want to do it with me, more than happy to do the section with them next to me. So we definitely open our doors to the nonprofits in the community to be supported in the right way.
Each branch has their own, with Madeline, she's doing the Legacy. I love the Legacy tour. I'm calling it Madeline is on tour with the Legacy. You're doing, of course, the Financial Mastery nonprofit, real grassroots. And I love that this new branch in Inwood. Can we talk about it just a little bit? I'm on 207th Street. Families, small businesses, you can walk in and you see people from the community, it's by the community and for the community, right?
Yes, definitely. And when people walk into the branch, the main thing that we want those people to feel that they are appreciated, that the bank is committed, but the most important that they're going to be talking to somebody that they can trust, that they can understand the challenges. Me being here over 25 years and starting as a teller, getting the better advice at the beginning, at the early age was very important. So I want to do the same thing when people walk in and say, I want to open a bank account, or I have a nonprofit organization, I don't know what to start. So it's like our sky open, and it says, you know what, and other people to help for the day. So we are very committed to continue doing that in the community.
We had so much fun at that opening. So hopefully we're showing some of the opening video right now. But it was the who's who of politicos, CEOs, the power of New York City was all there. Adriana Esbliot was there. We had Robert Jackson, Senator Robert Jackson. We had CEOs that were there, but also Christopher was there. The next generation. I fell in love with Christopher. He's young and he's passionate about helping the younger people start opening bank accounts, start thinking about their financial future. I always say if I would have started back then, we always say that. I'm already starting to sound old. But when you start that young, that's really a great idea. And so Christopher's there, and he's on your team, and he's phenomenal. And it's also about the social media, hence why we're always on social media, right?
Yes, one of the things that Ponce always does a good job is placing the people in the branch where they would be more help to the community. So having bilingual staff, 2 different generations. So you have Christopher, who is young and he's eager to learn and teach something back to the community. But and then we have Joel, who's also as a business entrepreneur.
Joel,
who can talk the language of our customers. So it's very important for us.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're gonna talk more with Wanda about the future and about the social media stuff. How do you empower yourself with social media and Ponce Bank? That's after the commercial break. We're back. You started off as a teller, now the vice president, an inspiring journey. But now so many people are looking to you because they want to be vice presidents. They want to be financially stable. They want to be empowered. So what's the first thing that you could tell them if they're watching? And let's say maybe it's a grandma who's not so sure about opening up an account for the first time. Maybe it's someone in their 20s or 30s that doesn't want to open up a bank account, or maybe, is in the red. You don't know.
And they don't know what to start.
Yeah.
I think that the first thing that I'm recommending is that look around where you live and try to identify a community bank, or try to identify a nonprofit organizations that can provide you financial assistance. Learn from the people who know and know the community that has been there. I think that the second advice is keep it consistent. Keep it consistent and start early. So early savings habits and emergency funding can make a difference. But I think that one of the key points is when we did with first generation, they didn't have the opportunity to get that information that we have the opportunity to get now. So that's what is important, is the first door. Go to your local community bank, understand the programs that are available, and get involved. It's very important for the success of any family or any small business entrepreneurs in the community.
Wanda, you're incredible. I want you to be my coach, if that's okay. If you could help me, that would be great. I'm learning along with our viewers, but I always like to end with hope. If someone's watching and they feel they've lost hope, because these are tough times. People can't afford to pay the rent, and they're struggling with their small businesses. What kind of hope can you give them? There is help. And there's you.
Yeah. That's the main thing I would tell them. It's hope. It's just identifying the right resources that are close to you in the community. Don't be afraid to know the doors of financial institutions and understand and identify what programs are available. We also have wonderful nonprofit organizations that provide additional resources to the residents. Sometimes, individuals in the community close that door by not getting engaged and ask the questions. Sometimes a lot of embarrassment behind it.
Yeah.
If somebody has bankruptcy,
a
lot of shame, so they have some issues financially. So you want to tell them, please don't be afraid, not award those who will be there for the community. It is hope.
Yeah, and how do they reach you? Because there's also the Small Business Boot Camp, which I'm a big fan of. We want to tell all those stories, and we have been trying to tell those stories of success, because you want to make sure if you have a small business, you take the boot camp. But how do they get started? Is there somewhere online that they can go and make sure to do that?
Yes, we have in our website under the financial mastery programs, we have all the programs available, including the boot camp. They only have to click the link, look at all the sections available, and they just got to sign up. So we usually publish all the classes, for the entire year. So depending on the board that they're in, for the boot camp, they can sign up. In my case, for the nonprofit services, technical assistant program, they only can to sign up on the classes online.
Well, we love that. And of course, you can always stop by the Inwood branch, right? It's 3876 9th Avenue at 207th Street. Did I get that right?
Yes, you
Or
got that
visit poncebank.com to learn more about any of these programs, the grassroots program, the small business boot camp, the financial mastery. Are those the top 3 that usually people?
Yes, one of the top 2 programs that we have, yes.
Yeah, and then of course, Wanda says she does a personal session with you if you have a nonprofit that needs extra help. And we always need extra help as nonprofits, especially during these federal cuts. Yes. It is important to keep your options open and to keep that money flowing in. That's what we want, right? Thank you so much, Wanda. You'll come back, right?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, and I think we have to go back to the Inwood branch as well. I loved it. So much fun. And Carlos made a lot of funny jokes. Remember Christopher? He told Christopher he could be the next vice president. Yes, he really could be. We can see that happening. Office hours, upcoming webinars, poncebank.com. And of course, I'm Monica Morales, and we're constantly making it happen. This has been our financial wellness series, so keep watching for these reports with Ponce Bank, powered by Ponce Bank. I love saying that. And let's keep making it happen together. See you next time.